a little bit about the history of zines. Zines were essentially publications that were made so people could share their ideas and thoughts with each other in a very easy way. Some could say that Thomas Paine's Common Sense was actually the very first zine that was ever created. However, the term zine became popular in the 1920s, 1930s, and it started with fanzines that were about science fiction. It's just been with us for hundreds and hundreds of years, and the printed form is definitely the form that it's kind of manifested itself in. This is a zine that I actually had one of the very first interviews that I was ever in, and this came out in 2000, and it was a zine that was about shopping called Checkout. One of the common things that runs through zine culture is that it's easy to reproduce, and it's usually pretty low budget. Like, this is just black and white photocopy. But again, no one gave them permission to make this. They gave themselves permission to make this and distribute it and share it with people. And so I think that's really the key, where you don't wait for other people to tell you that it's okay to put these ideas out, is that you're giving yourself permission to put your work out there, your beliefs out there, and you can share them with as few or as many people as you'd like. So in talking about zines, there's so many different types of zines that fit underneath the zine umbrella, and I want to go through a couple categories that I am particularly fond of. One of the categories is just kind of the obsession zine. This is a zine called the Prince zine, and it is what it says. It is all about Prince. And the author, Joshua James Amberson, he went through and wrote down all of his observations about Prince albums. And it is detailed, and it is super funny, and it is very much from his own point of view, too. And I think that's kind of important, too. A lot of zines are written with the author's point of view in mind. This isn't like you're reading a Wikipedia entry on Prince. This is very much Prince through the filter of this author, and that's what makes it so special and so unique, too. If I just wanted to learn about Prince, I could just Google him, but I want to learn about Prince through the filter of Joshua James Amberson, too. So anyway, Prince, love it. Another category of zines that I love, it's near and dear to my heart, are collection zines, okay? So a collection zine usually works really well when you focus on just, again, a collection and explore it in a really thorough way. So this one is Pet Cemetery, You Were Loved, and it is all about the pets of this author who have died. And it's just these little stories about dead pets. It's great. It's simple, and that's what makes for a good zine. This one is called OK Cupid Messages I Have Not Responded To. And it is essentially exactly what the cover says. It's just a bunch of OK Cupid messages that the author has not responded to. These are so funny and sad and all of the emotions. There's a lot of tension, and that's what makes this zine a really good read, too. So anyway, collection zine. Another way that I feel zines work well is to get to know people. I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but I think the format of an interview zine is actually a super fun way to get to know a person or to know a person better. This one is an interview zine that is with the author and her mother. And it's just this really wonderful small document where the daughter is asking her mother questions. And again, putting it in this booklet format and sharing it with people. Another category of zines that I really enjoy are literature zines. This one is just kind of a journal. It's just never finished grad school, and it's just excerpts from her live journal. I feel like I would never have read her live journal, but I totally read her live journal in zine form. So I think that's pretty interesting. But this is all about her her journey through grad school, or not her journey through grad school. Zines are a good format when you want to talk about a person or talk about a person's life. They're called bio-zines. And so this is a bio-zine called Alien Boy, and it's a zine about the life of James Chase. And it's a really wonderful way to maybe honor somebody, to let more people know about someone that you think that needs to be known about, essentially. One of the last categories of zines, and there's so many categories, but I'm only focusing on a few here, are more of like the illustration zines, and that's my world that I live in, and so I have a lot more illustration zines than any zines, just because I'm an illustrator and that's what I'm kind of drawn to too. But illustration zine is a great format for illustrators to put their work in and share it with people. They work really well as, it could be promos that you send out to people to get a job, or they could just be something that you just want to share with people and trade with people, just to kind of like, this is what I'm working on. This is what's happening here. This is a really wonderful one that was given to me this summer by the illustrator Greg Kletzel, and it's called Exercise the Demon. And it's just kind of this really wonderful illustration study between Richard Simmons and Gene Simmons. And it's all of these different illustrations of Gene Simmons from KISS and the exercise guru Richard Simmons. Another thing I want to talk about is the importance of zine culture in social activism, such as riot girl culture, political activism. It could also be, again, it's another good way to share ideas that maybe the writer doesn't think are being shared. None of this stuff really would be existing without the seeds that those movements planted too.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our latest videos.